As I've gotten older, I must have grown to absolutely love reading scary stories at night before I fall asleep. They probably make me think of the dark forest concept. Alone in a dark forest, if you light a fire to call for help, you may invite predators to your location instead. Is it better to stumble in the dark where no one can see you? I must love this concept. Every bad outcome in a horror story is the result of a person making a bad decision. It was cause and effect. It was avoidable. If I prepare enough, I can stay completely safe. And I live in my own dark forest. A perfectly normal residential house, indistinguishable in any way from the 200 others all around me. There's absolutely no reason for my house to stand out. My killer would have to be walking by my house and choose it completely at random. Maybe he thought the number 777 was so perfectly lucky. What are the odds of that happening? So I lay in bed and read, because I'm not afraid. I sit in my bed with a screen glued to my face and read my stories late into the night. My killer could float at the window, their grin slowly broadening into a smile as they wait. Who would believe they would sit there for almost a half hour? Their pale face cracked into a skewed and uncomfortable grin. It would give me every chance to simply look up and see them, while they check, see if I'm distracted. But apparently, I'm no coward. I don't give in to my base fear and glance up at the window. Even when alarms ring in the back of my head, screaming to just take one glance. No. When I do finally look up, it is to a pitch black window and a chastening thought of my own foolishness. I don't believe in the pale, grinning face watching me through the window. And I'm not afraid. Besides, my house is safe. I'm not stupid, fear or not. The security system monitoring all the windows for anyone breaking the glass should give me a warning long before anyone can get close to me. I can't even begin to imagine the incredible patience of the person who would carve away the plastic edges of my window frame with a knife, slowly chipping and peeling away until they could pull the window open without it latching, never setting off the alarm. The small creaks that would sound like nothing more than a tree outside rubbing against our vinyl siding. And that's a sound I can completely ignore. It's just a few normal creaks in the night, and I'm not afraid. Also, I sleep with two big dogs in the house. They bark when a squirrel so much as farts outside. So why would I ever need to worry? I'd have a loud barking warning of anyone entering my house. I have absolutely no respect for the genius it would take to slide a tube into the house with dog treats on the end. A tube that carefully blows poison into the face of any poor dog that likes the peanut butter on its tip. That would take so much patience that I can't even begin to imagine it. I might even hear the sound of my dogs grumbling slightly, or them slouching down on the floor. But those are everyday sounds, and I don't need to get up to investigate. My dogs will warn me off first, so I'm not afraid. All of this is backed up by the comfort of my old house. I must know every creak and groan it gives, and someone with incredible patience and fortitude would have to spend 47 minutes and 13 seconds wiggling on their belly through the downstairs rooms and up the stairs, just in order to avoid setting off any great creaks or awkward footsteps. So I can lay comfortable and confident in my bed, my husband asleep and snoring beside me, while I listen to the odd creak and moan from the downstairs joist. Even the slight groaning of the stairs might trigger a paralyzing alarm deep in my stomach. I listen to it creep towards me, but it's so slow, it takes so long, that I realize it must be the house. I'm not afraid of Warren Joyce groaning. I'm too old for that. Besides, the dogs haven't barked and the alarms haven't chimed. I'm not afraid. Even still, maybe I glance out the bedroom door. The bathroom light is on, after all, and anyone who wanted to sneak into the bedroom would have to walk past it first, leaving an unmistakable silhouette. If someone was so unbelievably intelligent that they crouched down and shuffled past the light, leaving a silhouette the same size as my big old dog's, why, I'm far too smart to question that. I want to believe so badly that it's just my big old dog slouching around upstairs. I've embroiled myself even deeper into what I'm reading, because as long as I keep reading, I can prevent the paralyzing feeling of fear from sinking me even deeper into my bed. It's like I said, I haven't made any mistakes, and in the stories, it's only when the stupid hero gets up and walks around the house with a flashlight that they see what they shouldn't have seen. And besides, I'm not afraid. Am I? After all, what is there to be afraid of? The sort of brilliant and inventive man who could do all these things, well, he couldn't weigh more than 90 pounds. He would be skeletally thin, so he can move lightly and carefully through any house he chooses. Of course, that means that if anyone simply stood up and walked around their house and found him, they could easily drive him away. Although he is a fantastic hider. I wouldn't even hear him in my own bedroom as he moved closer to me, painstakingly, 1 inch at a time for minute after painful minute. Wouldn't that make a sound? Fabric on fabric? Rustling, breathing, anything. Then again, maybe I hear it, so low, so soft, and so close, that I won't let myself believe it. Maybe I've been reading my stories for so long that I think my own brain has deceived me. How stupid would I have to be to have someone so achingly close to me to not even look over and see them? I suppose they could hide under the bed while they moved, but I don't believe in monsters under the bed anymore, so I'm not afraid. And I breathe so shallowly and so quickly. Maybe I am a little afraid. The scary stories I am reading are so engrossing, after all. The screen hovers inches from my face, glowing bright and completely ruining my night vision. It distorts everything. At points, I probably swear I can see a face in the corner of my vision, grinning, grinning, grinning at me. Such a patient face. But maybe I believe in matrixing. The human mind's desperate desire to turn every shape into a human face. This is comforting, after all, as it's so much easier to believe that my brain is fooling me than that the face beckons to me, begging me to take my one last chance to see it and protect myself. Because after all, at this point, it would certainly only be playing with me. If I moved to look over, it would be so lightning quick, it would be gone before I ever adjusted my eyes to where it was, or turned on the light to see it. But clearly, my brain is the traitor. Drunk on an intoxicating mix of frightening stories and not enough sleep. I'm not afraid at all. When I finally feel a tiny pinprick in my neck and start to fall asleep, I'm still not afraid. I'm sure I write it off as nerves, or any one of 100 other things. I'm so unafraid that I have left my Reddit page logged in, sitting on r/nosleep, where anyone could take over and write a story under my name. Everything fades to black, and I don't feel any problem with that until the last thing I see is a hideously warped, grinning face looking right back at me as my eyes close. Its eyes are sunken in, its shape skeletal and thin, but its grotesque and twisted grin of sheer excitement is unmistakable. I won't be awake long enough to really be afraid, though. That will come tomorrow. My husband and I will both wake up tied to chairs, maybe paralyzed with fear, maybe animated with rage. It's undeniably one of the most arousing and anticipated parts of the whole dance. What will I do when I first find out that scary stories don't need monsters? Fear can come just as surely from a potato peeler slowly carving across the skin of the thigh. Fear can be found in a red-hot soldering iron pushed through the tips of the finger. Fear can be not having any eyelids and being forced to watch it all. Maybe that's the best part of it. The disillusion. The realization that ghosts and otherworldly beings and paranormal forces, that they all don't have nearly as much power as a perfect, brilliant, skinny little man who is willing to take 3 hours and 53 minutes just to get within a syringe's distance from me. Who could resist taking a little time to brag after that much patience? But these stories are so wonderful, so perfectly useful, and so captivating. They create the perfect false narrative. One where the world makes sense. And with enough preparation and sensible decisions, your safety is always guaranteed. And home is always safe. Again and again, these people curl into their beds, secure in their own safety. They sleep in apartments high up, and they convince themselves that no one would ever pose as a maintenance man and should be the lock into their apartment and then hide in their closet. No one would wait 11 hours for the perfect opportunity to slowly inch towards them in bed, all the while ignoring the screaming warning in their head. They're not afraid. They sleep in their parents' houses, completely convinced that no one has the patience. The patience to break into their attic through the roof vent, lay in the attic completely still all day, and listen to them eat and go to bed. Then slowly remove the ceiling fan in the bathroom and climb down. After all, it's only a few small clanging sounds in the night. They're not afraid. In their shotgun houses, no astute virtuoso has shimmied his thin body through the one window they forgot to close, and sealed the screen back up after to leave no sign, spending the day barely breathing underneath their bed. Who checks under the bed anymore when they're not afraid? Because after all, the stories are so perfect. Somewhere along the way, the hero made a mistake. It's a behind the door moment. And they are so dumb, and the reader so smart. All they need to do is not look behind the door, not look up from the book, and they will continue living their life without causing a chain of events. There's always a reason for the monster to exist. Always a mistake that can be walked away from. Isn't that, after all, the fear everyone desires? One that is within their control. How much more paralyzing is it to live in a world where there was no way you could ever avoid them? And all because your house number looked funny, or you were closer to the bus stop. How much more horrifying would it be to live in a world where the smart and handsome monster acted without reason, struck completely at random? If only I had known there were such people in the world, I would have been afraid. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more, let me know in the comments below, and tell me what you thought of this narration. Make sure to follow me on Twitter for updates, and if you'd like to get early videos, shoutouts, high quality MP3 downloads of my narrations, and much more, I'd appreciate it if you check out my Patreon page. It's a place where you can help support my channel while getting awesome rewards in the process, and every pledge helps out a ton, no matter the size. So if you'd like to see all the rewards I offer and consider becoming a patron, it'd mean a ton to me if you'd click the link in the description and just check it out. And don't forget to show some love to the amazingly talented authors who make these narrations possible. Have a good night, everybody. Cheers.